What is up, my fellow YouTubers? Hope you're all having a great day today. Today, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys another book review in which I will be reviewing the first chapter in E.E. Knight's Age of Fire series, Dragon Champion. As I said, Dragon Champion is the first in the series of the Age of Fire series by E.E. Knight, in which this story follows the oldest sibling, Auron, who is a scaleless gray dragon who obviously was born without scales, so he doesn't have body armor, and it tells his story after his cave that he was living in is raided by dwarves who are known as the Wheel of Fire, I should say, that came in there, wiped out his cave, and now he's basically fending on his own in a world where dragons are becoming extinct because they basically have been hunted for centuries by humans, and now they're fighting to stay alive and avoid all human contact altogether because it's the only way that they can seem to keep their species alive from going extinct forever. So yes, that's pretty much what this whole series is all about right here, but because I'm just going to be focusing on the first book in this review, I'm just going to be talking about this, and just like all my other book reviews, the stuff that I like, that I thought was great, and a few of the things that I just didn't like at all. After reading this book, I'm actually awarding it a good 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now let me explain to you why I'm giving it this high of a rating. Like I said with the plot, Auron, the scaleless dragon, who's the main character in this story, he obviously now has to fend on his own in this world where dragons are becoming extinct. And in his world, the dragons, obviously, since the ones who have the scales and all, in order to keep their scales like mature and able to keep that body armor image that we all know of, they have to consume metal in order to keep their scales strong enough. He doesn't have scales at all, so he doesn't need to eat metal at all, though he does eat other animals and he eats people. Another advantage that he has to that, with not having scales at all, he actually is able to fly faster and dive, and he can also hide like in dark places without being detected because he doesn't have scales, so he doesn't shine at all. The only bad news is he doesn't have like any body armor, so he has to be really careful about whenever he goes into battle or enemies he must face, because he can be pierced easily by any weapons or any like claws or teeth from other animals. Like, he is that vulnerable to being killed if he's not careful at all. So yes, he actually really brings this story to life, and I like the fact that this story actually focuses on dragons here, and it mainly focuses on a lot of the battle scenes, the action. It's pretty fast paced and easy read. Loved all that stuff, didn't have no problems with it. I also love like how we meet other dragons in here. We also meet someone, a female dragon that he meets like on a ship that is obviously sent to a Weirmaster, who is like a person who is breeding dragons to help fight elves and dwarves, which he obviously is trying to overthrow right there. He's basically breeding dragons into becoming dragon riders and using them as weapons right there. Auron, yeah, doesn't like them at all. He pretty much doesn't like humans at all. He thinks that he's on like the conservative side of things, where he thinks dragons and humans need to stay away from each other at all costs because it's just the way the world works. Like, they can't live in harmony. That's the way he sees it right there. He also meets a group of wolves right there that he befriends, gets into a fight with them at first, but they do turn to be his allies. So he grows more and more allies, both like some humans, I should say elves that he befriends, other dragons, and some other animals. Another thing that I also liked in here was when E. E. Knight wrote this, when you see all these fantasy stories that are bringing animals you see of today's world, you pretty much see, like, stuff you would see like in the north, pretty much like bears, deer, raccoon, stuff like that. Maybe a lion and a tiger every once in a while, but it's pretty much like these northern animals. In here, he tells you animals you would never expect to see in here. You see elephants, whales, crocodiles, lions, moose, you name it, they appear in here. Like, he built this world similar to what our world is today. It's just in a different universe right there. I love that right there, that he went out of his way to make this world and story feel as real as possible, even though there were dragons in here, which they were the only like creature in here that obviously like wasn't real at all. But still, he gave them meaning, and he gave them life to where they almost felt human in a way, which made them more likable, and hence why I enjoyed this story much more, because not only am I fascinated by dragons, I always see them as these great mythical creatures right there that are like unstoppable. In here, they actually have empathy, and they kind of fear for humans because they realize like humans actually are dangerous right there. Like, they can be overpowered by them if they're not careful. Hence why they've been led to near extinction, and they're trying to recover from that. So yes, in here it's more like the dragons are labeled more as good guys, and like humans are labeled more as bad guys, but it's not like completely 100% true. But you do get to see like a story that doesn't focus on any humans at all, whether they're just a regular human, an elf, a dwarf. No, this focuses solely on dragons themselves, and I love that. I loved actually seeing something new right there, where a fantasy story did not follow any humans at all. It focused on an animal instead. And who would like it better than having a dragon be the main character right there? We all who love to read fantasy and write it love to see our dragons. They're just a part of it ever since like J.R.R. Tolkien wrote The Hobbit, when we saw Smaug. That's basically just how they came to be so popular in this genre. Without dragons, what the hell is fantasy for anyways? There wasn't much that I didn't like about it. I mean, I don't have much bad things to say about it. I love the story, hands down. I guess the only bad thing that I could say about it was that the ending, I did feel, was a little too rushed, but I could see why, because obviously all the main points of the story were already made, so he really didn't have much else to explain. So I can see why E.E. Knight did that. He wanted to rush and get it over with, so that way he could move on to the other stories in the series right there. Because this story right here, it can work as a standalone without reading the next two books, which I will review, but it's so well written that, yes, you'll get a good idea of what this world is like and what to expect later on down the road. If you haven't read it and you're into dragons, read this. You're gonna love it, guaranteed, no questions about it. And that's all I gotta say about this review. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to hit that like button and click that subscribe button, so that way you can be notified whenever I post new content on this channel. I post new content every Friday, and I try to post some extra videos throughout the week, but Friday is always the guaranteed day. Once again, guys, if you haven't read this book, do read it. You can follow E.E. Knight on Twitter. I'll put his link down below in the comments section, but make sure that you do check this book out. It is well worth it. Once again, guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Y'all stay safe and have a great day.